Hello there. This is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So, I bought a new book. I've had it in my wish list on Amazon for ages. And due to the fact that I'm I'm towards the end of a couple of books that I bought at the beginning of the year for this channel. So I thought to myself, okay, I'll treat myself and get a new book and we can look at that together. So big thank you to my patrons who helped to purchase this book for the channel with your support. Thank you so much. I always talk about Patreon at the end of the video, so I'll talk about it then. So let's get started. This wonderful looking book, watch this. How cool is that? This wonderful looking book is by Joe Fullman and Rose Blake, and it's called The World Book. And I got it because it's similar to other books that I've got, but different in the sense that it's not focusing on, or not too much, on flags. It's more to do with facts about history, culture, things like that. So it does every country in the world that I'm aware of. At least not the disputed territories. And it says continent by continent, countries are not divided evenly among the world's 7 continents. Here's how many are found in each. So surprisingly, there are actually 49 countries in Europe, but America, which is much larger, has only 23. Africa, which is massive, has 54. South America, which is also massive, only has 12. And then Asia, 47, Oceania, 14, and Antarctica, officially none. It's got a beautiful map. This is a political map of the borders of the different countries around the world. And then it starts off in different continents, starting with, being an American book, I assume, North America. I don't think it could be because it's alphabetical. No, Europe is before Asia. So what I'll do is I'll pick some random countries out from each of the continents, so not to be biased, and we'll read the page. Some countries have like half a page, others have 1 page, and some, like the USA, have 2 pages. So plenty to look at. And do drop a comment if you want me to read your country out in the next video in this brand new series. Okay, USA, and it does give, little facts and figures and maps and flags and stuff, so that's good. So it's got its location in the world, obviously it's here, in North America, one of the largest countries in the world. Here's the flag, the 50 stars and stripes. Key facts: capital Washington, D.C., official language none, but unofficially English. Currency is the US dollar, population 333 million, and area in land is 9 million square kilometers. It says the US flag has 13 stripes representing the 13 original colonies that founded the country and 50 stars representing the states. Okay, USA. Fittingly for the nation that brought us the Hollywood film industry, the USA is a real superstar of a country. It's made, not biased or anything by this book, it's made up of 50 unique states that encompass a huge range of different landscapes, from snow-capped mountains and thick forests to deserts and tropical wetlands. That's Florida. Music and movies, there's a picture of Hollywood there. Although Hollywood looks more barren than it does in real life. The US entertainment industry is a global player, which keeps turning out the hits. Many styles of music that are now listened to around the world have their origins in the US. including blues, jazz, rock and roll, and rap. I'm more of an R&B myself. And the country's film industry, centered in Hollywood, California, has long been the world's major provider of blockbuster movies. Big box office. The top 3 highest grossing movies of all time are American. Avatar in 2009, Avengers Endgame in 2019, and Titanic in 1997. And I saw all 3 in the cinema. Oh no, did I? Yeah, I did. Mega city skyscrapers. The US is home to some of the world's biggest and most multicultural cities, such as New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles, where you'll find some of the tallest buildings on Earth. The very first skyscraper was erected in Chicago in 1885 and was just 10 stories high. Today, the country's tallest building is the 94-story, 541-meter One World Trade Center in New York. Reaching for the stars. Since the mid-20th century, the US has sent various spacecraft blasting off across the solar system, orbiting planets, photographing comets, and even touching down on the surface of Mars. Perhaps the USA's greatest astronomical achievement came in 1969, when the Apollo 11 mission put the first people on the moon. The USA is the world's richest country. In fact, its economy accounts for around a quarter of the world's entire economy. Okay, many tribes, here we go. There are over 500 Native American tribal peoples. Some of the biggest include Apache, Cherokee, Chippewa, I'm going to mispronounce some of these, Iroquois, Navajo, and Sioux. Native Americans, very important part. The first inhabitants of the US arrived around 20,000 years ago, spreading out and developing into many different tribes, including the Cherokee, Navajo, Choctaw, and Sioux peoples. After the arrival of Europeans from the 16th century onwards, Native Americans were forced from their lands. Today there are around 5.2 million Native Americans, many of whom live on reservations, land within states that is managed directly by a tribe. Mountains, deserts, and swamps. In the US, the Rocky Mountains dominate the northwest, while the northeast is blanketed in deciduous forests. In the scorching deserts of the southwest, the Colorado River has carved out one of the world's largest gorges, the 400-kilometer long, 1.8-kilometer deep Grand Canyon. In contrast, the southeast is home to the Everglades, a vast area of wetlands where alligators and snakes patrol the expanses of waterways. The US doesn't have an official language, although English is the one that's most widely spoken. With over 250 million native speakers, Spanish is the second most popular language with over 40 million native speakers. I think it was last year where the number of Spanish speakers within the US became larger than the number of Spanish speakers within Spain. Oops. So yeah, it's a case of there are more Spanish speakers in the US now than there are in Spain, which is very interesting. Projections also show, when I was doing my degree in Spanish, that in the next couple of hundred years it should come to a situation where it's about 50-50, and there'll be a decision to make about whether they have to put all the signs bilingually everywhere. That's going to be a very interesting one. As a Spanish and English speaker, I'm into that idea, so that's fine with me. The White House. The person in charge of the United States is the president, who is elected every 4 years. Each president can serve only 2 terms in office. There have been over 45 presidents in total since the first George Washington. Since 1801, all presidents have lived in the official residence known as the White House, La Casa Blanca, which is located in the capital, Washington, D.C. Lady Liberty, an icon of the United States, the 46-meter-high Statue of Liberty, which stands in New York Harbor, was actually designed in France. It was given to the US in 1886 to commemorate the establishment of the USA just over 100 years earlier. That's right, it was a gift from France. And we did a video recently where we actually realised that it's in New York Harbor, but it's technically within the state of New Jersey, isn't it? But the island itself belongs to the wrong state, if you see what I mean. Face to face to face to face. Between 1927 and 1941, Mount Rushmore in South Dakota had the giant 20-meter-high likenesses of 4 presidents carved into its side: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abe Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt. I would love to see it in person. It's quite a feat, I think, to be honest. It looks amazing. Okay, I'll save Canada for next time. Maybe I should just pick one from each continent, because due to time constraints, I don't want to miss anyone out. That would be really bad. Okay, South America. Surprisingly, I've never been. The reason I say surprising because my degree is in Spanish and Portuguese. So the majority of Spanish and Portuguese speaking people on the planet live in South America, and I've never been. Let's do Uruguay. You weren't expecting that. You were thinking I was going to do Brazil or Argentina, weren't you? However, my work bestie is from Uruguay, so I'm going to do it for her. Okay, Uruguay, much less mountainous than its neighbours to the west. Uruguay has also been in fewer wars. It's a peaceful place of vast fields and big skies. Much of the landscape is given over to agriculture, the backbone of the economy. There are an estimated 3.5 cows for every person, the highest proportion in the world. I think Wales has something like 4 sheep for every person. And New Zealand similar. Okay, that's the flag. This is the location. That's Brazil. This is Argentina. So it's snuggling between the two. Key facts. Capital is Montevideo, just literally across the river from Buenos Aires in Argentina. Official language is, of course, Spanish. Currency is the Uruguayan peso. The population is just 3.4 million. Similar to my country of Wales. Area and landmass is only 175,000 square kilometres. Uruguay's national anthem is, at over 5 minutes long, the longest in the world. Uruguay's motto is Libertad o Muerte, which means liberty or death. Uruguay won the first ever World Cup in 1930. They became champions again in 1950, but have failed to claim the title since. Beefy battles. Every year, Uruguay and Argentina battle for the title of biggest consumer of beef. Huge cattle farms patrolled by horsemen, known as gauchos, are a distinct part of both the landscape and culture. An annual festival of horse riding, the Fiesta de la Patria Gaucha, is held in the northern city of Tacuarembó. It showcases music, poetry and traditional dance, as well as rodeos. Hand in the sand, looking like a giant trying to escape from a beach. The Mano de Punta del Este, the hand of the eastern point, is one of Uruguay's most distinctive landmarks. I've never heard of that. I'll have to Google it. Made of concrete and plastic and reinforced with steel bars, the sculpture of 5 fingertips poking through the sand is the work of Chilean artist Mario Irarrázaval. Irarrázaval. It was created in 1982, when I was born. Gnocchi Day. It's traditional in Uruguay to eat gnocchi on the 29th of each month. The practice began in the 19th century when people were generally paid on the 1st of the month. This meant that by the end of the month many people only had basic ingredients left in their larder, such as flour and potatoes, the main ingredients of the dish. Oh, now that was a coincidence, okay? I literally turned the page and we've come into Europe and we're looking at the beautiful homeland of this content creator on YouTube. So let's read it. It's too inviting. I can't turn over. Okay. The United Kingdom is made up of a union of 4 distinct countries. England, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, which were all once countries or part of countries in their own right. Still are, thank you. Many people continue to regard them as separate entities, countries within a country. That's correct, according to the British government. That's the British flag. This is the beautiful Welsh flag. We are located here on the island of Britain. We're this little red bit here in the west. Key facts: capital Cardiff. In our language we say Caerdydd. Official language is Welsh and English. Currency is the pound sterling of the UK. Population 3.2 million and area is 20,000 square kilometres, so we're tiny. A land of mountains, castles and age-old legends. Wales occupies the centre-west of the island of Britain. This small country has worked hard to preserve its unique identity, as exemplified by the rich, melodious national language. Once on the verge of extinction, Welsh, or Cymraeg, is today spoken by around 1/5 of the population. We're hoping to try and get it up to 30% in the next couple of years. Many children speak the language now, whereas when I was growing up it was mostly spoken by grandparents. So it's no longer on the official list of languages in danger of extinction. It's been taken off. Mountain Railway. The highest peak in Wales and England is Mount Snowdon in Wales at 1,085 metres. It's possible to walk to the summit in around 5 to 7 hours, and many people do. Others prefer to take it easy and ride the rack and pinion railway service that runs to the top. It's the UK's busiest mountain, with over 500,000 visitors every year. Wales is home to the UK's deepest cave. Ogof Ffynnon, or Cave of the Black Spring, is 274.5 metres deep and contains about 50 kilometres of subterranean passages. Home to the nation's football and rugby team, the Principality Stadium in Cardiff seats around 70,000 people. If it starts to rain, the roof, the second largest stadium roof in the world, can be closed. We built it based on the design of the Amsterdam Arena. Castle Crazy. As well as providing plenty of exercise for walkers, Wales's mountains have throughout history proved very useful for another activity: castle building. During the Middle Ages, over 600 of them were built here. Per square kilometre, that's more than any other European country. Some of the best preserved and most visited include Carnarvon, Conwy, Harlech and Pembroke. So, a couple of facts here. Yes, there are more castles per person or per square kilometre than any other, but I think Czech Republic has more castles in total. And also, for you doing history, the reason you have lots of castles in a country is because the local population is quite rebellious and you need to keep them under control. So yes, that's why the lots of castles were built, not just to protect us before we were invaded, but to keep us quiet after we were. Wales famously boasts one of the longest place names in the world. Here we go, are you ready? Llanfair Pwll Gwyn, Gill Gogere Chwern, Drobwll Llantysilio Gogogoch, which apparently means St. Mary's Church in the hollow of the White Hazel near the rapid whirlpool and the Church of St. Tysilio of the Red Cave. And apparently, of course it means that. National dishes: cawl, a type of stew; lava bread, seaweed loaf; bara brith, fruit loaf. What's that? Welsh rarebit, luxury cheese on toast with added mustard and ale. They're all delicious. Welsh cakes are the best though. My nan used to make amazing Welsh cakes. Nan, by the way, is grandmother, just in case you don't know where a nana is. Okay, let's do Algeria. So we've gone to Africa now. One of the largest countries. Is it the largest in Africa in terms of land mass? Maybe we'll find out. Oh yeah, it's the first line. Algeria. It may be Africa's largest country by area, but much of Algeria is pretty empty, at least of people. Almost everyone lives in a narrow, fertile band near the Mediterranean coast. But some brave the harsh conditions of the Sahara. Algeria's economy is largely based on extracting and exporting its vast oil and gas reserves. So it's in the north of Africa. You can see Spain just here, Italy there, on the Mediterranean. Egypt for reference is there. Turkey is there. Really cool flag. Capital Algiers. Official language is Arabic and Berber. Currency is the Algerian dinar. Population 43 million. And area 2.3 million square kilometers. The Sahara covers an area of 9.2 million square kilometers, approximately the same size as the USA. Vast desert. The Sahara, the world's largest hot desert, stretches because cold. Technically, Antarctica is a cold desert. Nothing can grow there in a desert. Deserts aren't necessarily hot. So for distinction, it's the biggest hot desert. Stretches right across North Africa, with the biggest proportion of it sitting in Algeria. Despite its popular image as a vast inland beach, only around a quarter of the Sahara is sand dunes. The rest is made up of mountains, stony plateaus, dry valleys called wadis, which may flow during rare periods of rain, plus a few fertile areas known as oases. Rock art records. Tassili and Ager National Park is in southeast Algeria holds a fascinating collection of prehistoric cave art begun around 12,000 years ago, when this area was still lush grassland. The earliest pieces show only wild creatures such as gazelles, giraffes and elephants. Wow, they lived that high up in Africa. Around 4500 BCE, cattle start to appear, representing the beginning of farming. Horses turn up around 2000 BCE. Then the later pictures even show horse-drawn chariots. Oases. Algeria's great stretch of desert holds several oasis cities, settlements that have grown up around rare sources of desert water. Many of these sources are located deep underground in water-bearing rock layers called aquifers. Or aquifers. Never seen that word before. Aquifers. The inhabitants dig boreholes, vertical tunnels, to gain access to the water. The inhabitants dig boreholes to gain access to the water, both for drinking and to irrigate crops such as dates. Opened in 2019, the Jama El Jazir Mosque in the capital, Algiers, has the world's tallest minaret at 265 meters. Life in the desert. The Sahara supports over 2,800 plants, which are experts at rooting out tiny amounts of water stored underground. The desert also provides a home to several hardy animals, including the fennec fox, the national animal of Algeria, the Dorcas gazelle, the Saharan cheetah, deathstalker scorpion, oh god, that doesn't sound friendly, Saharan silver ant, and Saharan horned viper. And this is a picture of the fennec fox with its big ears. Very pretty. Okay, let's move on to Asia and then the Pacific. Let's do Uzbekistan. I support Uzbekistan in the football. They've got a really good team. Okay, so Uzbekistan, if you imagine this is Iran, Saudi Arabia's done there, this is Uzbekistan here, and this is China. The most visited country in Central Asia, Uzbekistan sparkles with ancient treasures. Mountains, mosques and minarets cover the landscape of a land where various different empires, Persian, Islamic, Mongol, Turkic and Russian, have left their mark. There's the very nice flag, I love that shade of blue. Cyan maybe. Key facts, capital is Tashkent, official language is Uzbek, currency is the Uzbekistani som, population is 30.5 million and the area is 425,000 square kilometers. The national drink of Uzbekistan is kuk choy, green tea. Blue domes. The almost legendary city of Samarkand was once a major stop on the Silk Road and is Uzbekistan's biggest visitor attraction. It's centered on Registan Square, which is flanked by 3 massive madrasas, Islamic educational buildings. Just to the north of is the Bibi Khanim Mosque, adorned with deep blue tiles. It was once the largest and most magnificent mosque in the Islamic world. Uzbekistan is double landlocked. This means that it's a whole 2 countries away from the nearest coast. The only other double landlocked country in the world is Liechtenstein. Interesting. Suppose we're not counting the sea there, because it's a landlocked sea in itself. Okay, let's go to Oceania. Fiji. Okay, for context, Australia is here, New Zealand, and that's Fiji. Fiji is made up of 333 large islands and around 500 smaller ones. I did not know that. Most are uninhabited, with the majority of the population crammed into just 2, Viti Levu and Vanua Levu. The country's popular image is of a sun-drenched paradise, all tropical reefs, endless beaches and picturesque volcanoes, and that's not too far from the truth. How wonderful. Okay, this is the flag, with the British flag in the top left. Capital is Suva. Official languages are Fijian English and Fiji Hindi. Currency is Fijian dollar. Population 935,000 and 18,000 square kilometers is its area. The country's national drink is a peppery concoction made from a local root called kava. There are over 2,000 species of orchid in Fiji's Garden of the Sleeping Giant. Rugby is Fiji's most popular sport, and the locals are pretty good at it. They've beaten my country a few times. The national team won the World Rugby Sevens tournament in 2019, and also took gold at the 2016 Olympics. Fijian fires. Fire walking ceremonies have been performed on the Fijian island of Beka for generations. Traditionally, men walk across burning hot stones barefoot, without getting burnt. Legend has it that the ceremonies began long ago when a fisherman caught a small god disguised as an eel. In exchange for his life, the god granted the man the ability to tame fire, which gave him and his descendants the ability to walk on hot, fiery stones. Boringly, scientists say that the firewalker's success is down to the speed with which they walk across the stones. One swell wave. Look at that big wave. I'm not a surfer, but that looks good. Surfers flock to Fiji to take on its waves, particularly those at a place called Cloud Break near the island of Tavarua. Here, the waves regularly exceed 6 meters and have the reputation for providing one of the best and most challenging surfs on the planet. The reefs where the waves form is owned by a local surf resort, so if you want to try riding it, you need to get in line. The resort restricts the number of surfers here in order to protect the environment. Good. Ancient sands. Fiji is known across the world for its golden sands, and nowhere is there more to be found than in the towering dunes of Sigatoka National Park. Here, thousands of years' worth of sediment have washed down the Sigatoka River and onto the coast, covering an area of 650 hectares and creating rolling dunes up to 60 meters in height. Okay, so that is the first in, I hope, many videos using this book. If you enjoyed the video and you're still awake, do me a favour please and click that like button for me just there. There's a subscribe button there if you want to see the rest of the series and videos like it on this channel, and leave a comment for me in the box below, and of course click on the video that I put somewhere here if you are still not asleep, because that's what I want out of this. But if you are awake, then click on that video, and if you love what I do on this channel, then consider joining me on Patreon for extra exclusive videos that I do not release on this channel. One a month, and a second video which is just a ramble of me talking about my month and how it's gone. So that info in the box below for that. Click to expand it. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're nice and relaxed. I really hope I'm talking to myself and you are fast asleep. But yeah, leave me a comment and let me know which country to do in the next video.